Colleges often boast about how they cherish the exchange of ideas.
But are they really practicing what they preach?
There is, some people argue, a very real trend on college campuses these days to restrict freedom of speech.
My student organization was accused of religious discrimination because our Constitution defined rights as God-given.
Freshmen at the University of Delaware are getting quite a lesson. All whites are racists.
My university forced 7,000 on-campus students into a thought reform program as a treatment for their incorrect political and social beliefs.
I was threatened with suspension and expulsion from the university for criticizing a professor.
If your son or daughter is returning to college right now, you may want to take a moment to sit them down and go over their school handbook, specifically the section on campus justice.
My university actually helped organize and fund a group of students to come in and disrupt my comedy musical and shout down the play because they didn't like the jokes.
My college tried to investigate me because I publicly criticized other professors for using what was a brazen political litmus test against our students.
Unfettered freedom is necessary to discover knowledge. Universities used to stand for that.
So, is the free exchange of ideas on college campuses being suppressed in the name of political correctness?
I'm Greg Lukianoff, president of FIRE, the Foundation for Individual Rights in Education. We're a uniquely nonpartisan group. Our staff, our board of directors, really represents people from all across the political spectrum.
Freedom of speech should not be a partisan issue, so we're fighting for the general issue of freedom of speech and association.
The university is supposed to be the freest place in the society for free speech, academic freedom, the right of people to say what's on their mind.
There's this general misconception that there's a right not to be offended, and that it's okay to punish students and faculty members for engaging in speech that offends someone, even if that speech would be entirely constitutionally protected.
These absurdities upon absurdities are teaching people that not just common sense, but any semblance of freedom of expression is to be sacrificed on this altar of do not offend.
Ken, what happened to you?
Well, what happened basically was in the classroom on September the 18th. I was making comments about terrorism against America, terrorism against the Israelis and the Jewish people, and Muslim students took offense to that.
The professor put forth a thesis that Muslims that do not condemn the terror attack were actually consenting to terrorism. After that class, the professor was suspended.
Should students be allowed to protest wherever they want, or protest limited to certain so-called free speech zones?
At Marquette University, administrators demanded a student take down from his door a quote from a dangerous subversive that read, "As Americans, we must always remember that we all have a common enemy, an enemy that is dangerous, powerful, and relentless. I refer, of course, to the federal government." What dangerous fifth columnist could have written such a thing? Would you believe Dave Barry? So how did the university react to this quote from the Pulitzer Prize-winning author? They demanded he take it off his office door and also called it patently offensive. That's a term that's usually reserved for hardcore pornography.
Well, I just don't know what has happened to the universities. I mean, the least free area of thought left in the United States seems to be the universities. The one place where you would think free thought and free speech and conflict of ideas would be most encouraged has somehow miraculously become the most restricted and constricted and just constipated, intellectually constipated area of American life.
Back in October of 2006, the college Republicans at SFSU held an anti-terrorism protest, as part of which they drew copies of the Hamas and Hezbollah flags on pieces of paper and stepped on them. SFSU thought it was above the law and put these students on trial within their own system.
FIRE was on it. FIRE sent them, I don't know the total number, but it seemed like it was practically a letter every week that they were sending the administration saying, drop this case, you need to end it now.
Now, what does a clear and present danger mean at Valdosta State University? Well, as we'll see in the case of Hayden Barnes, the clear and present danger can be represented in the form of a collage.
The infamous collage, Save Zachary Memorial Parking Garage. It was a tongue-in-cheek joke about President Zachariah's legacy. I found a note slipped under my door Attached to the note was a collage that I had posted on my Facebook, and the letter read, "You have been administratively withdrawn from Valdosta State University for the attached document and other threatening behavior towards the university president." I took all the evidence that I had and overnighted it to Fire, and they began researching my case. When it came clear that I needed legal counsel, they obtained it very quickly.
Custodial worker and part-time student Keith John Sampson was accused and found guilty of racial harassment of his African-American co-workers for the simple act of reading a book. That's right. At IUPUI, the Affirmative Action Office has determined that it's possible to racially harass someone by silently reading a book.
Because of FIRE, students at my university are now free to think and believe what they want.
Because of FIRE, I have my master's degree and my freedom of speech.
The university, by immediately dismantling this program, has done absolutely the right thing, but believe me, we're going to be staying on this.
Because FIRE became involved, I was able to continue to voice my opinion free from any retribution.
You have to ask, why did they stop the program? And I really think that's been largely due to the efforts of FIRE.
Because of FIRE, my controversial plays still rock on.
With their help, we filed suit, and I believe we will see some resolution of this.
I really believe if it wasn't for FIRE, I would have never received an apology letter from Chancellor Vance in July of 2008.
It is pretty shameful that it took a university months to finally openly admit that reading a book did not constitute harassment.
You couldn't ask for an opponent, however powerful, with a more inviting vulnerability. They cannot say and they cannot defend in public what they actually believe and what they actually do.
Happy 10th anniversary, FIRE. Happy 10th anniversary, FIRE.
Happy 10th anniversary, FIRE. Happy 10th anniversary, FIRE.
Happy 10th anniversary, FIRE. Have about 9 beers from me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.